Hello everybody, we're back here on Call of the Wild the Angler, this time with an early access look at the brand new Japan map releasing the 29th of this month, so just a few days away. This is a beautiful map and I'm very excited to get into the fishing here because there's some really cool species. Now, here is the shopkeeper right here. We saw this on the EW stream that they did not that long ago showing off this reserve, and man, it is one of the best looking kind of like main outpost areas that we have seen in any of the maps for the angler. I really like this. I think it's the best one they've done by far. It just looks amazing. Now, the first thing we're going to take a look at is the map. Let's click M and look at the map. So this is what we've got to work with. It's a very tall map, as you can see. It starts down here in this massive little river system with some like marshy looking areas, I think. Yeah, it definitely looks kind of marshy. Then we got some big lakes down here. We got a larger river, it kind of looks like. I don't know if we'll be able to fish that. It looks like it goes pretty far down, but hopefully we can. And then as you go up, you've got some like mountain lakes, it appears, and then a few really massive lakes towards the top of the map. This is going to be such a sick map to explore, and I'm very excited to do so. Now, if we go to the handbook, let's take a look at all the different fish that we can expect to find here. This is the Japanese eel as the very first one. That's going to be pretty fun. I'm not the biggest eel fan, but I know so many of you guys are. We've got the Japanese freshwater crab. I wonder if we'll get different claw sizes and stuff for them. That would be sick. We've got the Sakhalin taimen. I believe it's called taimen. The Sakhalin taimen. These will have variations, so they'll have different levels of this red coloration and stuff like that. Every fish on this map is going to launch with variations, which is huge. That is huge. Then we've got the northern snakehead, which is going to be one of the favorites, I feel. I've been wanting these in the game for a very long time at this point, so that's really sick. Next up, we've got the Japanese dace, which is gorgeous, an absolutely beautiful fish. I assume this will be smaller, though, because it is a dace species. Then we've got the pond loach, which will probably be the smallest fish here. Loach are tiny. They're absolutely puny, so I expect these to be one of the smaller fish. Next up, we've got the Japanese smelt, another one of the smaller ones that we can expect to catch here, but another really pretty nice looking fish. Then we've got the Ayu sweetfish, which looks really cool. I like the Ayu sweetfish. We've got ourselves the Amur catfish. Looks very similar to other catfish we have in the game. Mainly the ones that we've got over on Africa. They definitely look like the African sharptooth a little bit, but hey, I mean, there's not too many differences between a lot of catfish IRL either, I guess. Then one of my favorites, the chum salmon. I cannot wait to catch these things. Chum salmon are so cool. I've been wanting more salmon and trout species in the game, so this is huge. Massive fan of the chum salmon. Then we've got the feral koi. Now, these aren't exactly the same as the type of like domesticated koi you would expect to see, so the patterns that we may get on them aren't going to be identical to what we see in like domesticated koi. These are the feral koi. And next up, we've got the cherry salmon, another gorgeous fish. Just absolutely beautiful. This is one of those fish that I really was hoping that this map would have. When we found out it was Japan, this was one of the first fish that I thought of that I was like, okay, I really want this fish on here, and boom, there it is. We've got the cherry salmon. Next up, we've got the Dolly Varden, another one that I think will be a fan favorite. Dolly Varden are pretty popular, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully I'm not misspeaking here, but I believe they are a sea-run Arctic char. I believe that's what a Dolly Varden is the sea-run version of the char. Next up, we've got the white spotted char, another pretty fish. So nice to see so many salmon, trout, char species coming to this map. It's really cool. Then we've got the Magoi carp, another cool fish. And then we've got the sockeye salmon, which, as you could imagine, is the same as the kokanee over on Golden Ridge. Sockeye and kokanee, they're the same thing. If you guys didn't know, a kokanee, I believe, is a landlocked sockeye salmon. So sockeye salmon are the ones that go out to ocean. Kokanee are the ones that are just like in lakes and stuff like that. So as far as I understand, that is the difference, but they are the same fish, just different forms of the same fish. It is interesting to see that although this still has the hump and the hooked jaw and everything, they did give it a less bright color. Like sockeye, when they're spawning, they turn red with the gold and stuff like that. And they get the hump on their back, they get the hooked jaws, the big teeth. But this has the coloration of what the kokanee should. So I feel like in the future, they need to change the kokanee model to not have the hump on the back and to have like a different jaw and make them more silver, because that's what a lot of kokanee you will catch will look like. So I'd like to see that in the future. Next, we've got brook trout, which Holy crap, look at that. Is it just me or is this different variations? I've not seen a variation like this when I was fishing on Golden Ridge. Oh my gosh, this might be different. And then we've got the rainbow trout, which that looks a little different too, like a little more pale on the side. Not as deep of a red. That's cool. I like that. And then the last one, the Mozambique tilapia, which is, I believe, the same thing as blue kerper. I believe they are the same thing, but that's a nice solid lineup of fish. I'm really excited to get into this. So let's get to fishing. And what better spot to start fishing than the first dock that you'll actually be able to fish from? Right in front of the post office right here, which is your starting outpost. There is a nice little river. Let's see if we can manage to hook into anything from right here. Let's see what type of fish you can get when you first start. Now, when I was looking through the handbook, I noticed a lot of the salmon and trout types of species will go for the jerkbait here. So I've decided to start out with the jerkbait, see if we can get some of the taimans, see if we can maybe get some of the cherry salmon and stuff like that, because those are the types of fish I'm most interested in. The chum salmon, you know. So hopefully we're going to end up catching a lot of those today. That would be the goal, because they look incredible. In case I forgot to mention it in the intro, we are not allowed to show off any mission progress or collectibles location in this early access look, so I will be avoiding all missions and collectible items and stuff like that. We're just going to fish and see what we can catch and try to show off as much variations of each of these fish as we can. Hopefully we can catch a lot of them in this video. I mean, this is just going to be a first look video, so I don't know if we'll catch every single species, but over the next few vids and streams, hopefully we'll get everything. Oh, looks like we've got an eel going for it. I decided to switch to my other rod while I wait for the chum to kind of take effect and attract some of the species that we've been after. So in the meantime, we got ourselves our first eel off of a float setup with a size 7 hook bloodworm, a little 5-ounce Japanese eel. What a little guy. It's adorable, though. I like the way the character holds it. That's just super, super cool. Yeah, that's awesome. That looks really good. There we go. We got a fish on the jerkbait, finally. I moved a little bit. You can actually still see where we started, still within the frame. But I had to move down a little bit to get a fish on. What do we have here? Oh, is that a char? That's a char. That's a white-spotted char, right? Oh. Dude, 26 pounds. As a silver? How big do white-spotted char get? That's a 26-pound silver there? Oh my gosh, man. That's actually kind of crazy. I did not expect that to be a freaking silver char there. There we go, another fish on. This one is not putting up as much of a fight, so it's definitely not the same size. It is, however, I think another one of them. Yeah, it's another white-spotted char. Let's just net that bad boy. We got ourselves a bronze at 9.70 pounds. Wow. So that's a freaking bronze. Jeez, man. These things must get huge. I think it's about time we go explore some other parts of the map. We kind of messed around in the starting area, caught a couple char, caught an eel. I think it's time we venture off to the north of the map where there appears to be some mountains, because I am very excited to try and find some of the places they showed off in the screenshots that were promoting this reserve just a couple of weeks ago. I'm so excited to try and find some of those mountain streams that they showed off because they looked incredible. If I remember too, I will put up the picture right now. I want to find where this is located because that is just stunning, man. It's so pretty. I had to raise my graphics up for this drive right here. I've been having them pretty low just for performance sake since I stream and record on 1440p, and you know, a game like this is very resource intensive on 1440p, especially when you're streaming, recording, and all that type of stuff at the same time. So I decided to bump up the graphics for at least this part because it just is so much prettier looking at these trees when the graphics are boosted up a bit. It's incredible looking. And the graphics I was playing on before just were not doing it justice, so I needed to do this for you guys so you could see how pretty this map really is. Here we are. We made it to one of the locations I marked down because this looked like an interesting location on the map. We're now right here at this little mountain lake. This is the starting area. This is where we are now. This looked like a very beautiful location, and I'm glad I went up here. It does look quite nice. We're going to see what type of fish we can catch here. Hopefully there is a lot of big boy fish. Maybe a taimen? Hopefully? Maybe? Fast travel location, so that's good at least. So we got some pretty decent depth in this lake, up to 56 feet at the highest I've seen so far. I can tell there's definitely going to be some pretty deep lakes on this map, and I'm starting to think that this may not be the place to go if I'm trying to get stuff like the taimen and the cherry salmon and things like that. But, you know, we're going to try it out at least. See if we can manage to pull something out of here. I might try some bottom fishing, see if there's some magoi or something like that here. Let's actually go to a hot dog. Maybe there's going to be a taimen lurking on the bottom. Ooh, that's a snakehead to my left. We just saw a snakehead. I got to catch that. I don't know what to use. Probably minnows? I would imagine minnows. I'll have to look. There's so many snakehead. Oh my gosh, there's so many of them swimming around. That's really cool to see. Do any of them even care for my bloodworm, though? No, they don't, really. Maybe the hook size I'm using is too small to where they're not going to go for it? I don't know, man. So before I continue searching for spots to catch some of these new fish, look at this lake right here. This lake is so freaking pretty. I absolutely love it. You guys can find these right here. It is just up north from where we were just at. Such a beautiful location. I'm not going to fish here, though, because I've only seen Mozambique tilapia swimming around, and they're basically, in fact, I think they are the same thing as a blue kerper. We're more after the new fish today. Wow, another beautiful location on the map. This is actually one of the fast travel points. There's this beautiful little pool right here. It looks like a hot spring of sorts, to be honest. This is super cool. I love this. And it's right next to this massive mountain lake up here. At the highest point of the map, the most northmost location on the entire map. I'm excited to get out here and see what we can catch because I feel like this may be where we can find the taimen. Because it says they like Deep Lake as one of their habitats, and I mean, that's about as deep as it gets, man. So after spending some time looking at the habitats of the different fish on this map, a lot of the ones that I really am trying to target right now, I notice are primarily in rivers. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's got to be a taimen. That's got to be a taimen. That was hooked on a jerkbait pretty deep down. Oh, it's got to be, man. Please be one. Oh, it's a catfish on a jerkbait? Yo. A silver Amur catfish on a jerkbait. Kind of a beat up catfish, too. Look at that. That's awesome, man. That looks so cool the way he's holding it as well. Like, that is awesome. That is not what I expected to catch on a jerkbait. That actually makes me wonder. What do they even bite on? Wow, spinnerbait, jerkbait, grub, spoon, worm, tube, frog, poppers. Jeez, shad? They will bite so many different lures. That's sick. Oh, dude, a fish to our left. I think that was a catfish as well. We may have just found a really good spot for catfish. In fact, I would not doubt it if we can find some giants in the middle of the lake where it's really, really deep. I also just saw another fish jump in front of us. This spot is crazy. There's fish all over. Now, hopefully we can hook into more than just catfish, but I wouldn't mind it if it was just catfish. Yeah, it's another catfish. Well, we found a good spot for them at least. Question is, can we get a diamond here? Hopefully. Another beautiful catfish, this one being bronze. What does it got for markings on it? This one's a little bit different than the other one. Not as much like marks on the top of it. Not bad. I like that. So those last two were caught on the size 5 jerkbait. I'm now attempting to use a size 3 to see if maybe I can weed out some of the smaller catfish and just, see if we can get silvers and above only. I'm not sure what hook sizes will be required for gold and above or diamond and above, obviously, because we're still pretty early into this, but hopefully we can manage to catch a big boy and, kind of figure out what bait size we need to use to get silvers and above only, at least for the time being. That is decent tension. Probably just another catfish, though. Let's see. Yeah, it's a catfish again. Nice. Another bronze. 18-pound bronze. These things get huge. These things are going to get absolutely massive. There we go. We got a fish on. Oh my gosh. Another one. Finally. We moved into the southern parts of the map, and there we go. Our first chum salmon. That is awesome. One of the fish I'm most excited for with this map. A bronze 6-pounder. That's pretty. Super pretty. As you can tell, they've got them in their spawning colors. Very, very pretty, I gotta say. Definitely my favorite thing we've caught so far today. I decided to exit the map and change the time to 6 so we can hopefully get some other fish biting more consistently. As right now, we really don't know what the best time of day is for each of these fish. So as of now, we're going to be kind of messing with different things, going from one to another. I figured let's try morning since we've tried like noon and then evening. Let's see if this works a little bit better for us. Oh, there's a fish. There's a fish. What are you? Chum salmon, probably. Looked kind of like a chum salmon again. It could also be a white-spotted char. Yeah, it's a white-spotted char. I feel like that one looks a little different, though. Maybe a little more yellow, a little less, like, white. Maybe? It looks a little bit different, I think. There we go. Another fish on. You know, I'm really liking this spot a lot. Ooh, that's a Dolly Varden. What's up, little guy? What's up, little Dolly Varden? That's sick, man. We got a Dolly Varden trout. I'm gonna be honest, though. That doesn't look 2 pounds. They should maybe resize the model a little bit. That looks way bigger than 2 pounds, man. I mean, I've caught some 2-pound trout in my day, and they don't look this big. That's for sure. If I were to, like, estimate how big this actually looks, I mean, that's got to be at least 4 or 5 pounds. Probably more. Yeah, I'd say around 5. Yeah, probably. Although it's kind of hard to tell when it's in a game, but definitely doesn't look 2 pounds, that's for sure. But can't deny, it's pretty. So far, the 2 fish that are still like on my list of ones that I really want to catch today that we still haven't managed to catch is the cherry salmon as well as the taimen. Those are the 2 I really want to get. Is that a taimen? Wait. Oh my gosh, it is. Look at the fighting animation. Or is that a rainbow? Wait, what? Is that a rainbow? No. No, it's a taimen. 15-pound bronze. Look at that monster. We did it, guys. We caught a taimen. That is awesome. They are so pretty. And you know what's wild is I caught this bronze on a size 3. What am I going to have to use to get the big boys? I also want to point out real quickly how that one right there had no red hardly at all. Just a tiny bit by the tail. That's about it. Meanwhile, the one that we saw in the preview was, you know, before I caught that fish, the one that was shown in the preview had a lot more red. The one in the trailer that we saw in the water kind of looked like it had a little bit of red, but not a ton. Although it was kind of tough to see. But that's cool. I think that's another white spotted char. We may have found a really good spot. This may be a really good spot, man. I will have to show you guys where I am fishing right now. So this is where we currently are. Right here. I mean, that's very close to the starter outpost. You just go down south a little bit and boom. You're at a spot where you'll catch like lots of char. You'll catch Dolly Varden. You'll catch the chum salmon, the taimen. All that type of stuff is here. It also really does feel like these types of fish are way more active early in the morning. So that might be something to take note of. You know, fish early in the morning to go for these types of fish. It definitely seems like that is the way to go for them. Hopefully that trend continues and we manage to hook into some giants. Oh, that's a fish. There's a fish going for it. Nice. We got one on. What are you? Oh, that's a taimen. That's a taimen. You can tell because it's doing circles. That's so cool, man. Their animation where they do circles to try and break off is so sick. What do we got there? An 18-pound bronze. That one's got a little more red throughout it. These fish right here are just so beautiful. I'm impressed with this map so far, and I mean, I've only played a little bit over an hour of it. There we go. That's a fish going for it. Come on. Yeah, it's another timing. We got circles. We got circles again. Oh, that one looks like it's a little different color. Yeah, I think I see more red on it. I may be wrong. 28 pounds, man, and it's still a bronze? Holy. Definitely some more red on this guy. You can see kind of like near the tail. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not, man. We'll have to look at it in the actual handbook. It'll be a little bit easier to tell right there. But that's pretty sick. These fish are awesome. So in our latest catches, we got that guy right there. Then we got that one. They look very similar, but the spots are actually different on the back, as you can see. And then this one is just like a darker color in general. That is cool. I haven't found any super, super red ones yet, but I assume those might be a little bit less common. Still pretty sick, though. Like, these are looking nice. There's a scar on that one, right on his side. Beautiful. You know, this little recording session is going on much longer than I expected it to, and I think I want to do a lot more of this exploration on live stream, because right now, it's been a lot of just kind of like roaming around trying to figure out where all the fish are, and I feel like this video is just going to go on for hours if we don't end it now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this first look at Japan, a first look at some of the species that we managed to catch, as well as, you know, the layout of the map and how beautiful it can be in some areas. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. Subscribe if you're new, click the like button if you haven't, and leave a comment down below. I'll be streaming this reserve throughout early access until the full release on the 29th, and I hope you guys will stop by. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace!